أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. What is the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, Man samata naja. Man samata naja. Whoever is silent attained salvation. Whoever is silent attained salvation. He is also said, فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. So speak what is good or remain silent. In English, the proverb goes, silence is golden. Hazrat Habiba radiallahu anha is reported to have said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the use of tongue for three reasons. Firstly, remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, to enjoin good. And thirdly, to forbid evil. And that is so in our sphere of influence. Everything else that we speak, then of course we are responsible and we are accountable. As we know, the Prophet, peace be upon him, he spoke words of profound wisdom. He was blessed with Allah-given Hikmah, the prophetic wisdom. So the question arises, what is Hikmah? What is the prophetic wisdom? I looked into it in detail and searched many books. I couldn't really find a paragraph that you could describe what is the prophetic hikmah, what is the prophetic wisdom. But having pondered over it, my understanding is that it's an Allah-given ability to the Prophet, peace be upon him. So that is what he's about to say, do or decide. What impact will it have locally, nationally, and internationally? And more importantly, what results will it produce on a short-term basis, on a long-term basis, and on a permanent basis? And permanent here refers to the hereafter. I'll repeat this. To my understanding, the prophetic hikmah or the wisdom is an Allah-given ability, so that what the Prophet, peace be upon him, says, does, or what he decides, he knows what impact it will have locally, nationally, and globally. And more importantly, what results will it produce on a short-term basis, on a long-term basis, or on a permanent basis. And permanent here means the hereafter. You see, when we talk, we don't think. And when we talk, we certainly don't listen. Therefore, while we are talking, we are not listening. And as we are not listening, we are not thinking, and we are not learning. Often we come across a provocative situation when we are provoked, and we respond immediately, without thinking, at the spur of the moment. And often it leads to anger and temper. And of course we say things when we are in temper and in anger which are irrational and which we regret later. So under those circumstances, it's best to maintain our composure and absorb the situation. Try to assess as to what is the best way of dealing with the situation at hand. And so this way you will find that often if certain things are not said, it protects you from 1,000 problems. So we have to maintain our composure and not be led by the spur of the moment, by the temptation. And of course, sometimes expressing annoyance is also necessary. You know, you tell somebody, an employee or some subordinate, you tell them things politely and they don't pay any heed, they don't listen. So sometimes you have to express your anger. But that expression of annoyance is controlled. And you know what you're saying. Under those circumstances, of course, is quite acceptable, because people will then listen to you because they know that they have been reminded so many times and they haven't paid heed. So this time they will listen and hopefully they will pay heed. You see, the Prophet, peace be upon him, it was very seldom that he was angry. But he did express his annoyance when it was a matter of principle. When the principle was involved, then he expressed his annoyance. But of course, his annoyance was always controlled. He was always in control of himself, peace be upon him. So similarly, following the example of the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, we should also ourselves be under control at all times. We must not be led by temper or anger and say things only to regret later. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.